Hello and welcome to your 10 at 10. Today's June 8th, 2023. If you're too busy, we're going to talk about delegating today. We started this series a couple of weeks ago with me ranting and raving about, everybody saying they're too busy to accomplish the things that they need to do to hit goals, like lead gen, like following up with, leads, hand raisers and stuff like that. So we talked about prioritizing. We talked about, installing automation the other day into your business. And today we're going to talk about delegating. There's a huge opportunity that we sometimes don't think of. If you go through your whole laundry list of to-do items and you write down, identify the ones, that only you can do. Out of like 30, there's probably really only 4 or 5 that you are the only one that has to, is able to do them, right? The other ones you can automate. Some of them you can delegate. And that's what we're talking about today. Like, for example, if somebody's on their way to a vet with, a couple of dogs, it may be possible to get somebody else to do that, free up an hour or 2 hours of your time. Like a lot of times, I've been doing this quite regularly, right? If there's something that I can get somebody else to do for me, I'm going to try and do that so that I have more time to focus on hitting my goals, right? There's always a lot of opportunity in our personal lives, even though it may cause a little bit of grief. For example, taking your pet to the vet, that's one thing. Another thing is, taking your dog for a walk. Sometimes we feel like we have to take our dog for a walk for a whole hour, right? When maybe we could, go to the dog park or whatever, or throw a tennis ball and they'll get tired out quicker or something like that, right? Or maybe we could have, one of our kids or a neighbor kid or a spouse take the dog for a walk instead of us, right? So many times being a realtor and having a flexible schedule, we tend to get taken advantage of by our spouses, right? Like, I know I've felt that, right? Oh, you don't have to go to your job. I have to be here from, 8 to 5 and I can't leave, but you can leave. So here's a whole bunch of stuff for you to go do, right? Go to the grocery store. Yeah, push back a little bit, right? Maybe have them do it on a weekend. Cook dinner was a big one for me, right? I do most of the cooking at home. When I cook a meal, it usually takes about an hour. But, if I'm conscious of it and purposeful about what I cook, maybe sometimes I cut that down to a half hour, or maybe sometimes I have Lori do it. Sometimes I've had my kid do it. In our jobs, right? In our work to-do list, there's opportunities to delegate as well. One of the things that I've done quite regularly is, a lot of times when we have a seller, right, and you get a bunch of communication from the title office, and one of the things they always ask you to do is make sure you communicate with the seller and get a payoff and da 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 da. So I've always pushed back on that. Hey, I'm a little bit busy. Is there any way you can reach out to the seller, make sure they have that form filled out right, submitted, and can you make sure that you have the payoff in time? And that's something they've done every single time for me. Well, maybe once or twice they've said, nope, Tom, I'm too busy. Can you do it? In which case I do. But the vast majority of times, that's one thing that I can delegate, and they seem to take that off my plate for good. Another thing is, if you're on your way to an appointment and, you're going to be in the car for more than 15 minutes, why not see if your spouse can drive? Why not see if a kid can drive? Why not talk to the neighbor kid and say, hey, I need to drive to Detroit tomorrow to show a house or attend an educational or something like that. See if you can get somebody else to drive so that you can be on the phone, checking your emails, maybe knocking some of your, lead gen stuff out. I did that yesterday. I actually had Jamie drive. I delegated the driving to Jamie, and she drove me to Flint and back. And I don't know, downtime all of a sudden was turned back into productive time. There's a lot of different ways that you can delegate within your business and definitely at home. And again, the whole purpose of having this be your career is to make money. and hit your goals. If you're not hitting your goals and you're not making enough money, you need to focus on your business and maybe push back on a lot of those things that we just kind of find ourselves doing and not really being conscious of it. But it's really pulling time away from our lead gen. It's really pulling time away from the things that we need to do to hit our goals. So, anyways, delegating is the second of our 5-step program. So yesterday, last or the other day was automation. We talked about, incorporating automation where we can. And that today we're talking about delegating. So anyhow, I hope this helps. I hope this helps you hit your goals. And yeah, have a great day and do your best to make today awesome.